Welcome to Sleepy Dungeons, where we unravel the mysteries of the past. Tonight, we're taking you back, way back, to a time 4 million years ago, when the first members of the Homo genus began to walk the earth, setting the stage for the rise of humanity as we know it today. In this episode, we're going to explore the early dawn of humanity, the birth of Homo species. From the emergence of Homo habilis, the first true human ancestor, to the rise of Homo erectus, whose groundbreaking survival skills allowed them to conquer new territories, these early hominins laid the foundation for everything that would follow. But what made them unique? What did they achieve, and how did they change the world? First, we'll delve into the revolutionary tools they crafted, marking the dawn of technology and shaping their world. Then, we'll uncover the mysterious events that led to their extinction and the role modern humans played in their disappearance. Finally, we'll ask the big question, what is the legacy of these early humans, and why are we still so captivated by their story today? Now, you're watching Sleepy Dungeons, where we dive into the deepest corners of history. Today's episode is titled, 4 million years ago, the birth of humanity, the dawn of the first Homo species. Over the next few minutes, we'll explore the rise of Homo habilis, the development of tools, the creation of fire, and the remarkable journey of Homo erectus, who became the first humans to leave Africa and spread across the globe. We'll also uncover the unsolved mysteries surrounding their sudden extinction and what led to the rise of modern humans. Let's set the stage. It's 4 million years ago. The Earth is a much different place. Vast savannas stretch across Africa, where early hominins, like Australopithecus, roamed the land. But among them, something new is emerging. It's the dawn of Homo habilis. This new species stands apart with a bigger brain, better tools, and a newfound ability to craft tools that would change their destiny forever. Homo habilis, often referred to as the handyman, marked the beginning of the Homo genus. Around 2.8 million years ago, these early humans took their first steps toward what would one day become a global civilization. Living in the heart of East Africa, Homo habilis had a relatively small frame, but with one key advantage, a much larger brain than their predecessors. This increase in brain size meant Homo habilis could think, plan, and create, 3 essential traits that set them apart from other creatures of the time. They used stone tools, the first real leap in human technology. These tools allowed them to break bones, cut meat, and access new sources of food. With tools in hand, Homo habilis could hunt, gather, and thrive in ways no other species could. As Homo habilis began to craft these simple tools, they made their first steps toward a structured society. It's believed that they started to form small groups, working together to survive and protect each other. Their innovations didn't end with tools. The ability to control fire, which came later with Homo erectus, would become a key advantage in their survival. But for now, it was the tools, simple stone flakes and scrapers, that laid the foundation for future development. At this point, Homo habilis was still a long way from the complex societies that we know today. But their existence marked a shift. Homo habilis had the potential for something more, social cooperation. It's likely that early humans, though they didn't have language as we know it, communicated through gestures, sounds, and basic cooperation. They shared food, protected their young, and began the rudimentary steps toward forming families and groups that would eventually evolve into structured communities. The rise of Homo erectus was a major turning point in human evolution. These early humans had larger brains, better tools, and a critical survival advantage, the control of fire. Fire was transformative. Not only did it provide warmth and light, but it also allowed early humans to cook food, which made it easier to digest and obtain nutrients. This, in turn, helped Homo erectus grow even smarter, and their larger brains were better equipped to handle challenges. The Homo erectus species flourished around 1.8 million years ago, and it was during this time that early humans began to venture beyond Africa. For the first time, humans were spreading across continents. Homo erectus began to settle in Asia and Europe. This was an extraordinary achievement, as no other species had left the African continent before. Their tools were refined, and they began creating more advanced structures, shelters, campsites, and controlled use of fire. They were becoming more organized, which was essential for surviving in harsher climates. While they may not have written history, Homo erectus left behind evidence of their sophisticated cultural practices. Their ability to collaborate, share resources, and teach younger generations set the stage for the complex societies that would emerge later. Despite their technological and social advancements, Homo erectus faced numerous challenges. As they spread out across the globe, they encountered different climates, landscapes, and other species. Some argue that this led to internal struggles, competition for resources, land, and survival against other hominins, like Neanderthals. But it wasn't just internal strife that led to their decline. The world was changing. Climate change caused dramatic shifts in the environment, and Homo erectus may have struggled to adapt. In addition, the rise of Homo sapiens, the species we know today, began to outcompete Homo erectus for resources. Eventually, Homo erectus vanished from the earth, leaving behind only their bones, tools, and the mystery of their extinction. What happened to them? Why did they disappear, leaving no direct descendants? This remains one of the greatest mysteries in human evolution. As Homo habilis made its first steps toward becoming the earliest recognizable human species, the world around them was a wild and untamed place. The landscape was vastly different from the one we know today, with vast stretches of open plains and scattered forests that formed the perfect setting for this new genus to take root. Homo habilis lived in small, mobile groups, relying heavily on their environment for survival. They were opportunistic foragers, hunting small game and gathering plants, but it was their ability to make tools that set them apart from their predecessors. These early humans crafted basic stone tools, rudimentary scrapers, and sharp-edged flakes that allowed them to break open bones and access the rich marrow within. These tools would have been a game changer, granting them access to higher protein food sources that other species couldn't exploit. With these early tools, Homo habilis could do more than survive, they could thrive. The power of these tools is not just in their function but in the cognitive leap they represent. The ability to plan, create, and use tools marks a major step forward in human evolution. Homo habilis' hands were specially adapted for grasping, fine motor skills that were crucial for shaping stone. These hands were the tools of a species destined to change the world. Though still far from the complex societies that would emerge later, Homo habilis started to form small social groups. It's likely that these groups were essential for survival, providing protection from larger predators and helping each other find food. They likely communicated in basic ways, gestures, sounds, and signals, which, though rudimentary, laid the groundwork for the language that would follow. Their survival wasn't just about physical strength. It was about cooperation and shared knowledge, skills passed down through generations. But the story doesn't end with Homo habilis. As time passed, another species, Homo erectus, began to rise. This species, which appeared around 1.8 million years ago, was a far more advanced human relative. Homo erectus had a larger brain than Homo habilis, and with that came more advanced tools, better social structures, and the crucial ability to control fire. Fire, perhaps more than anything else, would allow them to transform their environment. It provided warmth, protection from predators, and the ability to cook food, making it easier to digest and extract more nutrition. For the first time, early humans weren't just surviving, they were shaping their world. They began to migrate out of Africa, spreading into parts of Asia and Europe. This was the first significant human migration, and it was an extraordinary achievement. Homo erectus was the first human species to leave its birthplace, marking the beginning of a journey that would eventually lead to the global distribution of humans we see today. These early humans did more than migrate. They built shelters, invented new tools, and refined their understanding of the world. The tools they created became more sophisticated: axes, chisels, and hand tools that allowed them to fell trees, hunt larger game, and protect themselves in an increasingly dangerous world. With fire and these advanced tools, Homo erectus could survive in colder climates, giving them access to new habitats. But despite their advancements, Homo erectus was not invincible. The world they inhabited was changing. Ice ages came and went, altering the landscape and forcing these early humans to adapt. They encountered other hominin species, including Neanderthals, and were in direct competition for the resources that were so critical to their survival. But perhaps the greatest challenge they faced was the changing climate. The environments they had once thrived in began to shift, and the food sources that had sustained them grew scarcer. As the climate changed, Homo erectus may have struggled to adapt. Their larger brains required more energy, and their expanding populations likely put more pressure on the resources available. This internal stress, combined with external competition and changing environments, led to their gradual decline. The final blow may have come with the rise of Homo sapiens, a more adaptable species that would eventually dominate the planet. But the story of Homo erectus didn't end in extinction alone. Their legacy is written in the stone tools they left behind, the sites they occupied, and the migration patterns they established. As Homo sapiens continued to evolve and spread, they carried with them the knowledge and lessons learned from the Homo erectus species. The road from the first humans to modern civilization is a long one, but it began with Homo erectus stepping out of Africa and across the world, forever changing the course of history. In the wake of their extinction, questions remain. Why did Homo erectus vanish? Did they simply fail to adapt quickly enough, or did something more catastrophic bring about their end? Some theories suggest that the rise of Homo sapiens, with their superior cognitive abilities and social structures, led to the extinction of Homo erectus. But could there have been another factor? Perhaps climate change played a larger role than we think. Or maybe Homo erectus was simply caught in a world that was changing faster than they could keep up. Today, scientists continue to study the remains of Homo erectus, the bones, the tools, the fire pits, in an effort to unlock the secrets of this early human species. What we know of them is just the beginning. Their story may be over, but their legacy continues to shape our understanding of human evolution and the world we live in today. The mysteries of early humans don't stop with their extinction. As we look to the past, we are reminded of how much we still don't know about those early species that paved the way for humanity. We may never know the exact reasons for their extinction, but the traces they left behind continue to inspire awe and wonder, challenging us to keep searching for the answers. Their legacy is not just in the tools they made, the fire they controlled, or the way they spread across the globe. It's in the questions they left behind, and the ongoing search to understand the origins of humanity. The dawn of Homo habilis and Homo erectus was the beginning of something far greater than their time. And as we look to the stars, we can't help but wonder, what will we leave behind? What will future generations of humans look back at, thousands or even millions of years from now, and say about our story? The first sparks of civilization were not made from stone or clay, but from the hands of early humans. Homo erectus, with their sharpened tools and ever-expanding horizons, faced a world that was becoming increasingly hostile and unpredictable. Yet, in the face of this chaos, they adapted and survived, laying the groundwork for a species that would eventually conquer the planet. Their ability to control fire was a pivotal moment in human evolution. With fire, they could cook food, making it easier to digest and more nutritious. Fire provided warmth during colder months and protection from predators, turning what might have been a deadly disadvantage into a tool for survival. The mastery of fire allowed early humans to spread across the globe, moving into colder climates where once only large animals could thrive. As Homo erectus spread into Europe and Asia, they left behind traces of their existence, stone tools scattered across ancient landscapes, remnants of hearths where fire was carefully tended, the first footprints of humankind across vast, unfamiliar lands. It was a time of change, of expansion, and of survival against all odds. Yet, the competition was fierce. The world was not empty when Homo erectus began to expand. Other species, including Neanderthals and even more advanced hominins, were already well established. The rise of Homo sapiens, though still distant, was already becoming inevitable. Homo sapiens, with their larger brains and superior tools, would eventually edge out the more archaic species like Homo erectus, leaving them behind as mere shadows in the history of our planet. The first encounters between these early humans and their successors remain largely unknown. What was it like to see another species, so similar, yet so different, walking alongside you? Were there interactions? Did Homo erectus and Neanderthals live together, compete, or even share knowledge? The truth remains lost to time, but the fossils and artifacts left behind offer clues to their existence, sparking a fascination that continues to grow. As the years passed, Homo erectus began to fade into obscurity. By around 110,000 years ago, they had disappeared entirely. The cause of their extinction is still a subject of intense debate. Some theorize that climate change and the evolving environment played a role. Others point to the rise of Homo sapiens with their advanced weaponry, better social structures, and perhaps even more complex thinking. It's possible that Homo erectus simply couldn't keep up with the pace of change. The final days of Homo erectus were likely not grand, not full of dramatic battles or sudden extinction events. They likely faded away gradually, their numbers dwindling over time. Yet, their contributions to the human story are undeniable. From the creation of the first tools to the ability to control fire, these early humans laid the groundwork for what was to come. The mysteries surrounding the extinction of Homo erectus continue to captivate archaeologists and anthropologists. Were they simply outcompeted by their more advanced cousins, or did something more catastrophic bring about their end? Did a changing climate force them out of their established territories, or did they struggle against diseases or other natural forces that led to their decline? We may never have definitive answers, but each fossil, each tool, and each new discovery brings us a little closer to understanding their story. Today, Homo erectus is regarded as a crucial step in the human evolutionary timeline. Their existence demonstrates the adaptability of early humans, their ability to survive and innovate, and their eventual legacy in the species that would follow. What we know of Homo erectus is just the beginning of our journey. The legacy they left behind is part of the larger tapestry of human evolution, one that connects us to our distant ancestors and offers a window into the past that continues to inspire and teach us. We may never know all the answers to the questions surrounding their extinction, but one thing is certain, their story is far from forgotten. From the tools they left behind to the fire they mastered, Homo erectus changed the course of human history forever. And as we look to the future, we cannot help but wonder what future generations will uncover about us. What traces will we leave behind? What will they think of our story? It is a cycle that continues, one civilization fading into the past while the next rises, reshaping the world in ways we can only begin to imagine. We stand on the shoulders of giants, but it's the humble beginnings of Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and those who walked before us that made everything possible. Their journey, though lost to time, is ours to tell, to remember, and to continue. The legacy of early humans is more than the sum of their tools, fire, or survival. It's the questions they left behind and the endless search for answers that drives us forward. The story of Homo erectus may have ended, but in many ways, it's just the beginning of the story we are all a part of. As Homo erectus faded into the annals of history, their legacy lived on in subtle ways. Although they no longer walked the earth, the tools they crafted, the fire they mastered, and the very paths they forged across continents remained imprinted in the world. Their story was not one of sudden grandeur or dramatic collapse, but of steady progression, a quiet revolution in human existence. It's impossible to know precisely when the last of the Homo erectus species disappeared, but their extinction marked the end of an era in human evolution. But in their extinction, they provided a bridge, a transition from one era of human history to another. The world that followed was one dominated by Homo sapiens, the species that would ultimately rule the planet, but Homo erectus was the first to conquer new worlds, move across vast distances, and build the foundation upon which we would rise. Though Homo erectus did not live to see the flourishing of modern civilizations, their legacy is embedded in every aspect of our daily lives. Their tools, their ability to communicate through rudimentary forms of language, and their social structures were the early steps that paved the way for Homo sapiens. Without Homo erectus, it's possible that humanity would never have developed the innovations that defined our species: agriculture, urbanization, writing, and complex governance. In the world of Homo sapiens, the technological, cultural, and intellectual achievements that followed would not have been possible without the groundwork laid by their predecessors. Homo erectus demonstrated the possibility of surviving and thriving outside of Africa, opening up the world to human exploration. They left behind more than just the remnants of their physical presence. They left the seeds of ideas, behaviors, and capabilities that would be passed down through generations. Despite their disappearance, the question remains, why did Homo erectus not survive long enough to witness the rise of modern humans? Was it simply that Homo sapiens outcompete them, or did something more fundamental cause their decline? Perhaps, as with so many ancient species, they were not suited for the changing world, unable to adapt quickly enough to shifting climates or new environments. What is clear, however, is that Homo sapiens rose out of the ashes of earlier hominins, standing on the shoulders of species like Homo erectus, learning from their mistakes, and taking humanity to new heights. The ability to adapt, to innovate, and to cooperate as a species allowed Homo sapiens to evolve rapidly and outlast those that came before them. The mysteries surrounding the Homo erectus remain, of course. Did they have a deeper understanding of their environment, a sense of culture that we cannot comprehend? Did they communicate in ways we've yet to uncover? Were there other species of humans that coexisted with Homo erectus? And most pressing of all, what truly caused their extinction? Theories abound, ranging from climate change and ecological shifts to genetic competition with Homo sapiens. But despite decades of research and many discoveries, the full truth remains out of reach. As we continue to dig deeper into the past, we continue to uncover traces of their existence: stone tools, remains of hearts, bones carefully preserved in the earth. These artifacts, though small, speak volumes about the lives of these early humans. They reveal the story of Homo erectus in a way that words never could, offering us glimpses into a life lived millions of years ago, a life that would ultimately shape the course of human history. Today, we find ourselves in a world that is shaped by the long line of human evolution. Our technology, our culture, and our very existence are direct descendants of the innovations, adaptations, and survival strategies of Homo erectus and their predecessors. But as we look at the achievements of modern humanity, we must not forget the humble beginnings of our species. Every technological leap, every scientific breakthrough, has its roots in the efforts of those who came before us. Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and all the other hominin species that preceded us may not have left a written record, but their lives and struggles live on in the world they left behind. As we continue to evolve and advance, we are bound by a shared history. The same curiosity that drove early humans to craft tools and create fire still drives us today, to explore, to innovate, and to understand the world around us. Perhaps the greatest lesson we can learn from Homo erectus is their resilience. Despite the challenges they faced, they pushed forward, adapting, surviving, and exploring new horizons. Though the mystery of their extinction remains unsolved, the legacy of Homo erectus and their ancestors remains etched into the fabric of human existence. We may never know exactly why they vanished, but their journey continues to inspire us. As we look to the future, we must remember that the story of humanity began long before we can trace it, and it was the efforts of Homo erectus, their survival, their tools, and their travels that made it all possible. The search for the truth about Homo erectus continues, and with every new discovery, we inch closer to understanding the lives of these early humans. What they achieved, and what they left behind, will forever be a part of the story of humanity. And as long as we continue to ask the hard questions, the story of Homo erectus will never truly end. As we look back at the lives of Homo erectus, we begin to understand just how vital their contributions were to the very fabric of humanity. The discovery of fire was perhaps their greatest gift to the future. Fire gave them warmth, safety from predators, and the ability to cook food, which had far-reaching implications. Not only did it make food more palatable and digestible, but it also allowed early humans to stay nourished in harsher, colder climates. This ability to adapt to changing environments and climates was a defining characteristic of Homo erectus, a trait that would eventually be passed down through the generations. But beyond fire, Homo erectus introduced the idea of cooperation on a much larger scale. Their ability to work in groups, whether it was for hunting, gathering, or shelter building, marked a key moment in human evolution. These were the early seeds of community and society, the very principles that would later evolve into more complex social structures and eventually, civilization itself. Their survival strategies were far from perfect, but they were incredibly effective for the time. The Homo erectus species was the first to demonstrate an advanced form of living beyond mere survival. They were proactive, strategic, and learned to manipulate the world around them in ways that no other species could. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving, adapting, and creating a future for their descendants. But as all great civilizations eventually face, so too did Homo erectus encounter their downfall. As Homo sapiens began to emerge, more intelligent, more adaptive, and more sophisticated, the competition between the two species likely intensified. While Homo erectus was still a formidable presence, their inability to evolve quickly enough to keep pace with the changing world left them vulnerable. The exact reasons for their extinction remain unclear, but it's possible that the rise of Homo sapiens, with their superior cognitive abilities, better tools, and more complex social structures, played a large role. As Homo sapiens began to expand beyond Africa and into regions already populated by Homo erectus, the inevitable interaction between the two species could have led to conflict, displacement, and eventual extinction. Additionally, Homo erectus faced environmental challenges. As climates shifted, ecosystems changed, and the resources that once supported their survival may have become scarcer. The world around them was rapidly evolving, and Homo erectus struggled to adapt as successfully as their Homo sapiens cousins. They were creatures of their time, innovative, adaptive, but perhaps not resilient enough in the face of unprecedented change. Despite the uncertainty surrounding their extinction, what remains clear is the profound impact Homo erectus had on the human story. They didn't simply pass through history unnoticed. They left behind artifacts, stone tools, evidence of fire usage, and even remnants of their settlements that continue to provide insight into their world. These traces, though often fragmented and incomplete, offer us windows into their lives, their struggles, and their triumphs. In many ways, Homo erectus laid the very foundations for Homo sapiens to rise and thrive. Their tools became the basis for the technological innovations that would follow. The social structures they developed, the communities they built, provided the framework for the more advanced societies that would eventually emerge. And even though Homo erectus eventually faded from the earth, they left a legacy that continues to shape our understanding of ourselves. It's in their innovations, their migrations, their tools, and their use of fire, that we begin to see the roots of human ingenuity, the same traits that would propel Homo sapiens to become the dominant species on Earth. They were, in essence, the pioneers of human evolution, the first species to truly push the boundaries of survival, to reshape their environment, and to leave their mark on history. Their story is far from finished, even though their species no longer exists. With each new discovery, we learn more about their way of life, their struggles, and their ultimate fate. Scientists continue to piece together the puzzle of Homo erectus, and in doing so, they unravel the mysteries of what it means to be human. As we look to the future, the story of Homo erectus serves as a reminder of our own place in the continuum of life. Just as Homo erectus evolved, adapted, and ultimately gave way to new species, so too will humanity continue to evolve. The legacy of these early humans serves as both a reflection and a cautionary tale, reminding us of the fragility of civilization and the ever-changing world around us. The search for answers about Homo erectus will undoubtedly continue, with new findings always on the horizon. Perhaps in the future, more will be revealed about their final days, their challenges, and their successes. But for now, we can only piece together the fragments they left behind and reflect on their profound contribution to the human story. As we stand today, a product of millions of years of evolution, we must remember that we are not alone in this journey. We are the inheritors of a legacy built by countless generations before us, stretching back to the first spark of life itself. Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and all the other species that paved the way for us, their footprints are in the sands of time, guiding us forward, and reminding us that our story is one chapter in an ever-unfolding narrative of life on Earth. As we continue to explore the mysteries surrounding Homo erectus, one question remains at the forefront of researchers' minds: what truly caused their extinction? Was it the rise of Homo sapiens that led to their downfall? Or was there something deeper, something more intrinsic to Homo erectus itself that contributed to their gradual fade into history? The answers to these questions are elusive, but what we know is that Homo erectus did not simply vanish overnight. Their extinction was likely a slow process, occurring over thousands of years. While the exact details are still unclear, many scientists believe that the arrival of Homo sapiens was a major factor. Homo sapiens, with their larger brains, more advanced tools, and more intricate social structures, were better equipped to survive in a rapidly changing world. Homo erectus, despite their many innovations, may have struggled to adapt to the new pressures that arose, be it climate changes, competition with other species, or the superior adaptability of Homo sapiens. What makes the mystery of Homo erectus's extinction even more intriguing is the possibility of interspecies interactions. Did Homo sapiens and Homo erectus coexist in the same regions at any point? And if so, what was the nature of these interactions? Were they peaceful, with mutual exchange of knowledge, or was it a competition for limited resources? Fossil evidence suggests that early humans may have encountered each other, and the potential for conflict or cooperation remains an open question. But the story doesn't end there. The extinction of Homo erectus wasn't the end of their influence. Instead, it marked the beginning of Homo sapiens' rise as the dominant species. Yet, despite the eventual success of Homo sapiens, many of the traits and advancements that Homo erectus pioneered, such as toolmaking, fire use, and complex social behaviors, were adopted and refined by future generations of humans. Their contributions were vital to the survival and progress of humanity. The tools they created, though primitive by today's standards, were the foundation of all future technological innovations. Their ability to work together in groups laid the groundwork for the larger, more organized societies that would follow. And their migration out of Africa, making them the first human species to venture beyond their home continent, set the stage for the global spread of human populations, eventually leading to the diverse societies that we know today. In many ways, Homo erectus paved the way for Homo sapiens, whose story is, in part, a continuation of their own. We, the modern human beings, are the inheritors of their innovations. Without Homo erectus, we might not have developed the tools, the social structures, or the cognitive abilities that have allowed us to dominate the planet. Their survival tactics, their ability to adapt to changing environments, and their innovations have influenced the course of human history in ways that we are only beginning to fully understand. Yet, despite their importance, Homo erectus remains a mystery in many respects. As much as we have uncovered about their way of life, much still eludes us. The lack of a detailed written record or a fully fleshed out picture of their culture means that much of their history is speculative. What were their beliefs? Did they have a form of communication beyond gestures and sounds? How did they view the world around them, and what motivated their migrations? These questions are the ones that continue to haunt researchers and inspire new studies into the lives of these early humans. One of the most significant mysteries remains the question of how Homo erectus interacted with the environment around them. Early humans were, after all, part of the natural world. They relied on the resources provided by the land, and they had to adapt to the changing climate and shifting landscapes. Were they active participants in shaping their environments, or did they merely survive by responding to the changes around them? And then there's the question of their relationships with other species. As Homo sapiens spread across the globe, they encountered not only Homo erectus, but also Neanderthals and other hominins. Were these encounters peaceful, or were there conflicts over territory and resources? Some researchers believe that Homo sapiens may have absorbed elements of the genetic and cultural heritage of other species through interbreeding. Was this a natural part of human evolution, or was it a sign of something more complex, like a struggle for dominance? In many ways, Homo erectus serves as a reminder of our own fragility as a species. Just as Homo erectus once thrived, so too will humanity eventually face its own challenges. The rise of modern civilization has brought about remarkable advancements, but it has also created new pressures on our environment, our resources, and our social structures. Just as Homo erectus faced the challenges of their time, so too will future generations face the consequences of our actions. As we look back at the life of Homo erectus, we are reminded of the interconnectedness of all species. Our history is a long and winding road, full of twists and turns, with no definitive endpoint. Homo erectus may no longer walk the earth, but their legacy continues to shape who we are today. The ultimate fate of Homo erectus may never be fully understood, but their story is far from over. Each new discovery, each fossil uncovered, brings us one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of our distant past. As we dig deeper into the earth, we uncover more than just bones and artifacts. We uncover the stories of those who came before us and the lessons they left behind. This continuation reflects on the mystery of Homo erectus's extinction, emphasizing the lasting legacy they left in shaping Homo sapiens. It leaves the door open for further exploration, both of Homo erectus and of humanity's future, continuing the reflective tone of the channel and prompting further curiosity. As we stand at the precipice of the future, it's impossible not to reflect on how Homo erectus's story mirrors our own. Much like them, we too are navigating an ever-changing world, adapting and evolving in ways that our ancestors could scarcely have imagined. The extinction of Homo erectus serves as both a cautionary tale and a reminder of the fragility of existence. Though they were once the dominant species, their inability to keep pace with the rapid changes of their environment and the rise of Homo sapiens led to their ultimate disappearance. Yet, despite their eventual extinction, the story of Homo erectus is not one of failure, but of remarkable achievement. The tools they crafted, the fires they tended, and the societies they formed were all steps toward a future they would never live to see. And it's this legacy, their capacity for innovation, adaptation, and survival that laid the foundation for the modern human experience. Today, as we look back at Homo erectus, we see more than just remnants of a long-lost species. We see the roots of everything that makes us human. From their ability to use tools to their mastery of fire, Homo erectus created the building blocks upon which we have built our societies, our cultures, and our technologies. But perhaps the most profound lesson we can learn from Homo erectus is the importance of resilience. They faced challenges unlike any other species, yet they persevered. Their ability to adapt to the changing world around them, to craft tools and control fire, allowed them to survive in an unpredictable and often hostile environment. It is this resilience that we must carry forward as we face the challenges of our own time, climate change, political instability, and the unknown hurdles that lie ahead. The extinction of Homo erectus did not mark the end of their influence, rather, it marked the beginning of a new chapter in the story of human evolution. As Homo sapiens emerged and began to dominate the planet, they carried with them the knowledge and skills passed down from their ancestors. The fire that Homo erectus tamed was passed on, and with it, the power to change the world. The tools they crafted became the foundation for the more complex technologies that would follow, and their social structures laid the groundwork for the complex societies that would rise in the centuries to come. Today, we stand on the shoulders of Homo erectus and the countless generations that came before them. Our ability to communicate, to innovate, to build, and to create is the result of millions of years of human evolution, and it all began with Homo habilis and Homo erectus. They may no longer be with us, but their contributions to the story of humanity are immeasurable. And as we continue to evolve, as we explore new frontiers and confront new challenges, we must remember that we are not the first species to walk this path. Homo erectus faced many of the same challenges we face today, changing climates, the rise of new competitors, and the pressure to adapt. Their story is one of perseverance and survival, and it's a story that we must carry with us as we navigate the future. The legacy of Homo erectus is not just in the tools they left behind, the fire they controlled, or the societies they built. Their true legacy is in the spirit of innovation and resilience that they instilled in the human species. As we move forward into an uncertain future, we must draw inspiration from their story, the story of a species that, despite their ultimate extinction, shaped the world in ways that still reverberate through the ages. In the end, the mystery of Homo erectus may never be fully solved. We may never know all the reasons for their extinction or fully understand the complexity of their lives. But what we do know is this: they were a key part of our shared human history, and their story, like our own, continues to unfold with every new discovery. As we search for answers, as we look to the past and the future, we are reminded that the journey of human evolution is far from over. The legacy of Homo erectus will continue to guide us as we navigate our own path and create a future that honors the lessons of those who came before us. As we continue to explore the legacy of Homo erectus, we cannot ignore the profound impact they had on the future of human evolution. Their journey, marked by innovation, adaptation, and survival, continues to echo through the millennia. Though Homo erectus eventually gave way to Homo sapiens, the advancements they made in toolmaking, the use of fire, and their social structures paved the way for the world we inhabit today. It is through the lens of Homo erectus that we can begin to understand the extraordinary journey of our species. They were not the first to walk the earth, nor the last, but they were undeniably a turning point in the story of humanity. Their ability to harness fire and craft tools, to move across vast landscapes, and to form rudimentary social systems set the stage for the flourishing of Homo sapiens. Every step Homo erectus took was a step toward the world that we know, a world of innovation, exploration, and ever-changing challenges. But the mystery of their extinction is not just about the end of a species. It is a reminder of the fragility of all life. Just as Homo erectus faced environmental challenges, social pressures, and interspecies competition, so too will Homo sapiens one day face their own turning point. The challenges we face today, climate change, resource depletion, political instability, mirror the struggles that Homo erectus once faced. And in many ways, their story is a cautionary tale. It is a reminder that survival is never guaranteed, no matter how advanced a species may become. The story of Homo erectus teaches us that the future is shaped not only by those who rise to greatness but also by those who are forgotten. It is the contributions of early humans, those small steps in survival and innovation, that laid the foundation for the world we know today. The simple tools of Homo habilis, the fire mastered by Homo erectus, and the social structures they created were all part of the grand experiment of human evolution. Without them, we might never have come to understand what it means to be human. As we look to the future, we must remember that we are the heirs of a long and complex history. Our innovations, our technologies, our societies, our cultures are the result of countless generations of human ingenuity. And though Homo erectus is no longer with us, their spirit lives on in the choices we make today. Their story is a constant reminder that progress is built on the foundation of those who came before us, and that every achievement, no matter how small, contributes to the larger tapestry of human history. In a world that is constantly changing, we can draw strength from the resilience of our early ancestors. Homo erectus did not have the advantages we have today, but they survived in a world that was vastly more unpredictable and dangerous. They faced the challenges of their time with courage and adaptability, and it is these same qualities that we must cultivate as we face the challenges of the future. So, as we move forward into an uncertain future, let us remember the legacy of Homo erectus. Let us draw inspiration from their innovations, their survival, and their ability to adapt to a changing world. For in doing so, we honor their story and ensure that the lessons they left behind continue to guide us. As we continue to explore the mysteries of our past and unravel the secrets of early humans, we must remember that our journey is not just one of scientific discovery, but also of reflection and growth. The story of Homo erectus may have ended, but it is still a part of our own. And as we continue to shape the world around us, we must ask ourselves, what will our legacy be? What will future generations learn from the choices we make today? The story of Homo erectus is a chapter in the larger story of humanity, one that continues to unfold with each new discovery. Their contributions to our shared history are profound, and though they may no longer walk the earth, their spirit lives on in every step we take. The journey of human evolution is far from over, and with each new generation, we carry forward the lessons, the struggles, and the triumphs of those who came before us. As we look deeper into the mysteries left behind by Homo erectus, we are drawn not only to their legacy but to the unanswered questions that remain about their lives. The absence of detailed records from their time means that much of their story is left to interpretation. Each fossil discovered, each tool uncovered, offers a glimpse into their existence, but we are still left wondering about so many aspects of their daily lives. How did they interact with their environment? Did they have social hierarchies, or were they more egalitarian? What drove their migrations across continents? We may never fully understand the complexities of their societies or the intricacies of their cultural practices. However, as we continue to piece together their history, one thing becomes clear: Homo erectus were not just survivors. They were innovators, explorers, and pioneers. They ventured into unknown lands, faced challenges head-on, and left behind traces of their journey that we continue to study and learn from today. The tools they crafted were not just functional, they were an expression of their ingenuity. From sharp-edged stones to finely crafted axes, these early humans understood their environment in ways that enabled them to thrive. Each tool they created was a step toward greater mastery over their surroundings. With fire, they could cook food, stay warm, and ward off predators, enabling them to venture further and survive in harsher climates. Fire gave them not just warmth, but light, an advantage that no other species had. It illuminated the world around them, allowing them to see the unseen and plan for the future. In their social structures, too, we see the seeds of what would become complex human societies. Although Homo erectus did not have the elaborate systems of governance or written language that we now associate with civilization, they undoubtedly had some form of social organization. They worked together in groups, hunting, gathering, and sharing resources. Cooperation was essential to their survival, and it's likely that the ability to collaborate played a significant role in their ability to adapt and thrive in challenging environments. Despite their many strengths, Homo erectus ultimately faced the forces of nature that even the most resilient species cannot overcome. The changing climates, the appearance of new species like Homo sapiens, and the shifting ecosystems all played a role in their eventual decline. The world they once thrived in was rapidly changing, and their ability to adapt at the same pace was likely a factor in their extinction. What we do know is that their extinction was gradual, and their disappearance marked the end of an era in human evolution. While Homo erectus didn't live to see the rise of Homo sapiens, their legacy was passed down through their successors. Homo sapiens, though more advanced in certain ways, carried forward many of the traits that Homo erectus had pioneered. The use of tools, the mastery of fire, the development of social structures, all of these were inherited and built upon, forming the foundation upon which Homo sapiens would build the modern world. As we uncover more about Homo erectus, we continue to learn how these early humans shaped the world we now live in. The discoveries made in the fossil record provide us with invaluable insights into their lives, their struggles, and their triumphs. But even as we uncover these mysteries, we are reminded that there is still much to learn. The story of Homo erectus is far from over. It is a story that continues to unfold with every new excavation, every new discovery, and every new theory. Their story, though ancient, is deeply intertwined with our own. As we look back at Homo erectus, we are not just looking at the past, we are looking at the roots of who we are as a species. They were the first to venture beyond Africa, the first to harness fire, and the first to begin the long journey that would eventually lead to the rise of modern humanity. In the grand scheme of history, the time of Homo erectus may seem distant. But their story is a vital chapter in the larger narrative of human evolution. The questions we still have about them, the mysteries that remain, are a testament to how much more there is to discover. As we continue to explore the depths of human history, we are reminded that the past is never truly gone. It lives on in the questions we ask, the discoveries we make, and the legacy of those who came before us. So, as we look to the future, let us remember the legacy of Homo erectus. Their innovations, their resilience, and their ability to adapt to a changing world are lessons we can still learn from today. In many ways, their story is our story, a story of survival, adaptation, and the ever-changing landscape of human evolution. As we move forward, we must carry with us the lessons of the past. The story of Homo erectus is not just one of survival, it is a story of what it means to be human. Their journey, though far behind us, continues to shape the world we live in today, and will continue to guide us into the future. And as we continue to explore the mysteries of our origins, we honor the legacy of Homo erectus, the first humans to master fire, craft tools, and venture into the unknown. Their story is a powerful reminder that every step forward, no matter how small, is part of a much larger journey. The journey of humanity, from its first steps on the African plains to the stars above, is one that we are all a part of. As we continue to explore the legacy of Homo erectus, we begin to realize that the path they set for humanity is far from a straightforward one. Their journey, though it ultimately ended in extinction, is a pivotal chapter in the larger story of human evolution. While their disappearance marked the close of one era, it simultaneously opened the door for Homo sapiens, the species that would come to dominate the Earth. But as we look at the course of human history, we find ourselves asking, how much of Homo erectus lives on in us today? One of the most significant contributions Homo erectus made to human evolution was their migration out of Africa. They were the first human ancestors to leave the familiar landscapes of the continent, embarking on a journey that would eventually span the globe. This migration didn't just change the geography of human habitation, it changed the very nature of what it meant to be human. To survive in these new environments, Homo erectus had to adapt, innovate, and continually refine their techniques for survival. Their travels marked the beginning of what would become a global human presence as Homo sapiens followed in their footsteps and spread across the continents. The paths that Homo erectus carved are still evident today, from the archaeological sites scattered across Asia, Europe, and Africa to the migration routes that early humans followed long after them. In many ways, their journey was the first chapter in the epic tale of human exploration and survival, a tale that continues to this day. As we stand at the height of technological achievement in the 21st century, it's important to remember that Homo erectus did not have the advanced tools and knowledge that we possess today. Yet, their ability to survive and thrive in a constantly changing world speaks to a resilience and ingenuity that we can still learn from. They did not have the conveniences we take for granted, like agriculture, metal tools, or organized cities, but they found ways to make their mark on the world. They learned to shape the environment around them, using the resources they had at hand to craft tools, build fires, and create shelter. These early human ancestors were not passive survivors, they were active participants in their own story, constantly innovating and adapting in response to the challenges they faced. We owe much of our success to these early steps. The survival instincts, creativity, and adaptability of Homo erectus were passed down to Homo sapiens. Every innovation they made, the crafting of tools, the mastery of fire, the formation of social structures, became part of the genetic and cultural inheritance that we carry today. In this sense, we are not just a product of Homo sapiens, we are the culmination of a long line of human evolution, stretching back millions of years to the time when Homo habilis first crafted the first stone tools. But the mystery of Homo erectus's extinction also serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of life. They were once masters of survival, yet they were eventually outpaced by a changing world. The challenges they faced, climate shifts, competition from other species, and the rise of more adaptable human ancestors, are the same challenges that we too will face. The story of Homo erectus is not just one of the past, it is a reminder of the cycles of rise and fall that all species must face. As we look to the future, it is clear that we will have to adapt and evolve in ways that Homo erectus could not. The world is changing rapidly, and the challenges we face, climate change, technological disruption, and societal shifts, are unprecedented. Just as Homo erectus was forced to adapt to new environments and challenges, so too must we find ways to navigate an uncertain future. The resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity of Homo erectus serve as models for how we can face the challenges ahead. In a way, the extinction of Homo erectus is not a story of failure, but a story of evolution. They were part of a long, winding path that led to the emergence of modern humans, and though they didn't survive to witness the rise of Homo sapiens, their legacy is written in every step we take. We continue to carry their tools, their social structures, and their survival strategies into the present, adapting them to meet the demands of our time. The extinction of Homo erectus raises a fundamental question about the nature of survival. Is it enough to adapt to the world around us, or do we need to shape the world itself to ensure our place in it? As Homo sapiens, we are the inheritors of the Earth's legacy. But just as Homo erectus was once the pinnacle of human evolution, there will come a time when our species, too, must face the same question. What will our legacy be? How will we adapt to the changing world, and what will we leave behind for the generations that follow? As we continue to ask these questions, we must remember that the story of humanity is not just one of survival, but of transformation. It is a story that begins with Homo habilis, continues through Homo erectus, and reaches its apex with Homo sapiens. But it is also a story that will continue long after we are gone. The rise and fall of species, the ebb and flow of life on Earth, is a never-ending cycle. And in that cycle, Homo erectus will forever be remembered as the first of our kind to venture beyond their origins and explore the world, paving the way for those who would follow. Their story, though ancient, is far from forgotten. It continues to inspire us to push forward, to explore new horizons, and to face the challenges that lie ahead. The fire they tamed, the tools they crafted, and the world they shaped are all part of the legacy that we carry forward into the future. And as we stand on the brink of new discoveries, new frontiers, and new challenges, we can only hope to honor their spirit of resilience and innovation as we continue our journey through time. As we turn the page on the story of Homo erectus, we are reminded that their existence is not just a footnote in the broader tale of humanity, it is a pivotal chapter. Their ability to craft tools, control fire, and survive in changing environments laid the groundwork for the innovations that followed. Even as Homo erectus faded from the earth, their legacy lived on through the generations that came after. Their contributions, though often overlooked, were monumental in shaping the path of human evolution. The journey of Homo erectus was marked by both triumph and struggle. They faced many challenges, shifting climates, competition with other species, and the unpredictability of their environment, but they persevered. Their resilience is a testament to the spirit of survival that is ingrained in our species. Today, as we look at the world we've built, we must remember that much of what we have achieved is built on the foundations they laid. We often think of progress as a linear path, with each new generation building upon the achievements of the last. But the story of Homo erectus reminds us that progress is not always guaranteed. They faced their own crossroads, moments when they had to adapt or face extinction. Their inability to keep pace with the rapidly changing world around them ultimately led to their decline. But even in their disappearance, they left behind a legacy that continues to resonate today. In the grand narrative of human evolution, Homo erectus serves as a reminder that no species, no matter how advanced, is immune to the forces of change. As Homo sapiens, we find ourselves standing on the shoulders of giants, Homo erectus among them, learning from their successes, and perhaps their failures, as we navigate our own path through the ever-changing landscape of life on Earth. Their story is not one of finality, but of transition. From their innovations to their eventual extinction, they helped shape the course of human history in ways we are only beginning to fully understand. Today, we face challenges that are unprecedented in human history. Climate change, technological disruption, political unrest, these are just a few of the hurdles that we must overcome to ensure the continued survival of our species. But if Homo erectus can teach us anything, it's that resilience and adaptability are key to overcoming these challenges. The very qualities that allowed them to survive and thrive in an uncertain world are the same ones we must embrace if we are to navigate the complexities of the 21st century. As we continue to push the boundaries of innovation, to explore new frontiers in science and technology, we must never forget the lessons of the past. The story of Homo erectus reminds us that the tools we create, the societies we build, and the knowledge we pass down are all part of a much larger journey. Every advancement, every discovery, is a step forward in the ongoing evolution of humanity. In the coming years, we will likely continue to uncover more about Homo erectus. New discoveries, new technologies, and new archaeological techniques will shed light on their way of life, their challenges, and their contributions to human history. But for now, we must carry forward the knowledge we've gained from the past, using it as a foundation to build a better future. As we reflect on the legacy of Homo erectus, we are reminded that their story is part of our story. Their innovations, their struggles, and their eventual disappearance are all threads woven into the fabric of human existence. And as we continue to evolve, adapt, and survive in an ever-changing world, we must honor their spirit by facing our own challenges with the same resilience and determination that they demonstrated. In the end, the story of Homo erectus is not just a history lesson, it is a call to action. It is a reminder that the journey of humanity is ongoing, and that each of us has a part to play in shaping the future. We are the heirs of a long and complex history, and the decisions we make today will determine the course of our species for generations to come. So, as we look to the future, let us carry forward the lessons of Homo erectus, their resilience, their creativity, and their ability to adapt to a changing world. For in doing so, we honor their legacy and ensure that the story of humanity continues to unfold, one chapter at a time. As we continue to reflect on the enduring legacy of Homo erectus, we are reminded that their influence extends far beyond the physical tools and artifacts they left behind. The very essence of human progress, the drive to innovate, adapt, and explore, is a trait that they embodied long before the emergence of Homo sapiens. Homo erectus was a species defined not just by their survival, but by their ability to forge paths into unknown territories, both literal and metaphorical. Their migration out of Africa marked the beginning of a broader human story. It was not just the physical expansion of the species across continents, but the beginning of a collective human journey toward understanding and reshaping the world around them. From their first steps out of Africa, Homo erectus laid the groundwork for future human exploration and expansion. As Homo sapiens followed in their footsteps, we inherited not only their tools but the very spirit of discovery that drove their travels. The migration of Homo erectus was not just a movement of bodies, but a movement of ideas and capabilities that would ripple through generations to come. But despite the remarkable achievements of Homo erectus, their story is ultimately a cautionary tale. It's a reminder that no species is immune to extinction. The forces of nature, be it climate change, interspecies competition, or the challenges of a changing environment, are ever present. The extinction of Homo erectus underscores the fragility of existence, even for those who have managed to thrive for millions of years. Their survival, while remarkable, was not indefinite. Just as they adapted to survive, they faced challenges that ultimately proved insurmountable. As we stand in the shadow of their achievements, we are reminded that humanity too must confront these same challenges. In the grand scheme of life on Earth, the extinction of Homo erectus was not an isolated event, but part of a much larger pattern. The story of one species' rise and fall is mirrored in the stories of countless other species throughout history. Homo erectus, in their time, may have been the pinnacle of human evolution, but their extinction reveals that even the most advanced species must evolve or adapt, or else face the inevitable decline. The challenges they faced in their time are not unlike those that we face today: a rapidly changing world, competition for resources, and the constant push to adapt to new circumstances. As we look forward, it's crucial that we take lessons from the past. Homo erectus teaches us that survival is not just about strength or intelligence, but about adaptability. The ability to change, to innovate, and to work together in the face of adversity is what allowed early humans to survive and thrive in a world that was often hostile and unpredictable. These lessons are just as relevant to us today as they were to Homo erectus. In an increasingly complex and interconnected world, it is our ability to adapt to the challenges we face that will determine our future. The story of Homo erectus also serves as a reminder that every species is part of a larger narrative, one that is shaped by countless forces, both natural and human-made. Homo erectus did not live in isolation, nor did they face their challenges alone. They were part of an intricate web of life, and their rise and fall were influenced by everything around them, from the changing environment to the other species they encountered. Just as we live in a complex world, so too did Homo erectus. Their survival, and ultimately their extinction, were the result of many factors beyond their control. Today, we stand at a crossroads, much like Homo erectus did in their time. We are faced with a rapidly changing environment, growing competition for resources, and the need for innovation and adaptability. As Homo sapiens, we have the advantage of knowledge, technology, and the lessons of the past. But we also have the responsibility to use these tools wisely, to navigate the challenges ahead with foresight and resilience. Just as Homo erectus adapted and survived, we must do the same. We must learn from their story, not just in the ways they lived, but in the way they faced adversity. Their resilience, their creativity, and their ability to innovate are qualities that we must carry forward as we face the challenges of the future. In the end, the legacy of Homo erectus is not just in the tools they left behind or the fire they tamed, but in the spirit of adaptation and survival that continues to define humanity. As we look to the future, let us remember the lessons of the past. Let us honor the memory of Homo erectus, whose survival and eventual extinction remind us that every step forward is a step toward understanding our place in the world. Their journey, though long over, is still a part of our story, one that continues to unfold with every new discovery, every new challenge, and every new step we take into the unknown. And as we move forward, let us carry with us the spirit of Homo erectus, a spirit of resilience, curiosity, and innovation. Theirs was a story of survival against the odds, and it is a story that we must carry with us as we face the challenges of the 21st century and beyond. We are the inheritors of their legacy, and it is up to us to ensure that their story is not forgotten, but celebrated. For in their triumphs and in their decline, there are lessons that we must learn to guide us on our own journey. As we draw the story of Homo erectus to a close, we are left with one undeniable truth: their legacy is not defined solely by their extinction, but by the profound impact they had on the trajectory of human evolution. Though Homo erectus may no longer walk the earth, the influence of their innovations, their survival strategies, and their adaptability lives on in every aspect of modern humanity. It is often easy to look back at the past and view extinction as a failure, a sign that a species couldn't keep up with the times or adapt to changing circumstances. But Homo erectus did not simply fade away. Their journey was marked by persistence and ingenuity. Their ability to survive for over 1 million years, to innovate and expand into new environments, is a testament to their resilience. Their contributions are woven into the very fabric of human existence, influencing everything from our tools to our societal structures, to our very survival instincts. As we stand here today, facing our own set of challenges, we must ask ourselves, what can we learn from Homo erectus? What can we take from their story that will help us navigate the rapidly changing world of the present and future? The questions that Homo erectus faced: how do we survive in a harsh environment? How do we adapt to the unknown? Are the same questions that we face today. From climate change to technological advancements, humanity is at a crossroads. We must adapt, just as Homo erectus did. But we also have the advantage of their lessons. We are not the first to face the unknown, and we are not the first to face the challenges of survival. As Homo sapiens, we carry forward the knowledge passed down through generations, shaped by the struggles, triumphs, and innovations of those who came before us. The legacy of Homo erectus is a constant reminder that survival is not guaranteed. It requires adaptability, resilience, and the ability to innovate in the face of adversity. The extinction of Homo erectus also serves as a reminder of the importance of understanding the complexities of our environment. As we continue to develop new technologies and explore the boundaries of space, we must also remember the lessons of the past. The world around us is constantly changing, and we must adapt to those changes or risk being left behind. The ability to evolve, both as individuals and as a species, is essential for survival. And as Homo erectus did, we must continue to innovate, explore, and push forward into the unknown. While Homo erectus no longer exists, their story continues to inspire us. They were the pioneers of human evolution, the first to leave Africa, the first to master fire, the first to create tools that allowed them to reshape their world. And it is their spirit that continues to drive humanity forward. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and the story of Homo erectus is part of the foundation upon which we build. As we look to the future, we must carry with us the lessons of Homo erectus. Their adaptability, their resourcefulness, and their ability to face the unknown head-on are qualities we must embrace as we face the challenges of our own time. Homo erectus may no longer be here to see the world we've built, but their story is far from over. It lives on in every tool we craft, every innovation we create, and every challenge we face. The extinction of Homo erectus was not the end of their story, it was merely a chapter in the larger narrative of human evolution. Their story continues to unfold, not just in the fossils and tools they left behind, but in the very nature of humanity itself. Each generation that follows builds upon the legacy of those who came before. We are not alone in this journey, we are the inheritors of a long and complex history, a history that stretches back millions of years, from the first spark of life to the complex societies we've built today. As we continue to move forward, let us remember the lessons of Homo erectus. Their ability to adapt, to innovate, and to survive in a changing world is something we must carry with us. The story of Homo erectus is one of resilience, and it is this resilience that will guide us as we face the challenges of the future. The journey of humanity is ongoing, and each step we take brings us closer to understanding not just where we came from, but where we are going. As we move forward in time, the story of Homo erectus serves as both a foundation and a cautionary tale. They were the first humans to expand beyond their original home, creating pathways for future migrations that would lead to the diverse civilizations we see today. But their journey was also fraught with struggles, survival in a constantly changing world, competition with other species, and the challenge of adapting to an unpredictable environment. Their extinction, while tragic, is not a failure. It is part of the natural progression of life on Earth, a reminder that all species, no matter how dominant or successful, must eventually face their own limits. In the same way, humanity's future is not assured. We stand at the crossroads of many challenges, environmental changes, technological disruptions, and social shifts that could alter the course of our evolution. The lessons from Homo erectus are vital for our survival. Just as they adapted to their surroundings, so too must we evolve. The world is changing at a rapid pace, and we must be prepared to adapt if we are to thrive in the coming centuries. In some ways, we have already inherited the resilience of Homo erectus. We are the product of their innovation, their exploration, and their capacity to adapt. The fire they mastered, the tools they crafted, and the social structures they created all contributed to the foundation of the human experience. These innovations were passed down to us, evolving into the technologies and societies that define our world today. Yet, the spirit of Homo erectus, their drive to explore, to survive, and to innovate, remains the key to our future. As we look at the progress humanity has made, from the building of cities to the exploration of space, we must also acknowledge the fragility of our existence. Just as Homo erectus adapted to their environment, we too must continue to innovate and evolve. Our future, like theirs, is not guaranteed. The very factors that contributed to Homo erectus' success, creativity, resourcefulness, and resilience, are the same traits we must cultivate in order to face the challenges ahead. The extinction of Homo erectus also raises a profound question: what is the ultimate fate of our species? Will Homo sapiens be the last to walk the earth, or will we too eventually fade into history, replaced by a new species, as we did to Homo erectus? While this question remains unanswered, it serves as a powerful reminder that all civilizations, all species, eventually face their own end. It is the cycle of life, a constant ebb and flow, where each new beginning is built upon the legacy of those that came before. But this uncertainty should not be a source of fear. Instead, it should serve as motivation for us to live consciously and responsibly. The extinction of Homo erectus is not a sign of failure, it is a natural part of the evolutionary process. Just as Homo erectus' journey contributed to the rise of Homo sapiens, we too have the potential to contribute to the next stage in human evolution. It is our responsibility to use the knowledge and resources available to us wisely, ensuring that the lessons of the past are not lost and that the mistakes of previous generations are not repeated. In the end, the story of Homo erectus is not just a tale of extinction, but one of progress, innovation, and adaptation. They were pioneers in every sense of the word, shaping the world in ways we are only beginning to fully appreciate. Their tools, their mastery of fire, and their exploration of new territories laid the groundwork for the rise of modern civilization. And their story continues to inspire us as we navigate our own challenges in a rapidly changing world. The journey of humanity is ongoing, and each generation has the opportunity to leave its mark on the world. Just as Homo erectus changed the course of human evolution, we too have the power to shape the future. By embracing the lessons of the past, by continuing to innovate, adapt, and collaborate, we can ensure that the legacy of humanity, one built on the resilience and spirit of our ancestors, will endure for generations to come. As we face the uncertainties of the future, let us remember the example of Homo erectus. Their resilience, their adaptability, and their ability to innovate in the face of adversity are qualities that we must carry forward. The story of Homo erectus is not just a part of our history, it is a part of us. It is a reminder that the journey of human evolution is far from over, and that each of us has a role to play in shaping the future. As we reflect on the remarkable journey of Homo erectus, we are reminded that the story of humanity is far from over. Their legacy continues to inspire us as we navigate the complexities of the modern world. From their innovations to their resilience, their story is woven into our own, guiding us as we face the challenges of the future. If you've enjoyed this exploration into the past, don't forget to subscribe to Sleepy Dungeons, where we dive deep into the mysteries of ancient civilizations, human evolution, and much more. Every week, we'll bring you captivating stories and thought-provoking content that connects the past to the present and helps us understand the journey that has shaped humanity. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. Join our growing community and stay connected as we continue to explore the untold stories and fascinating discoveries that are part of the ever-unfolding narrative of human history. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to taking this journey through time with you, one story at a time.